first of all, I just want to touch on the price of oil, because how much does it have to do with fundamentals, and does OPEC really still retain control of the price of oil, or does it have to do with everything else, the European crisis, inflation, and really a hedge against everything else that we're seeing in the world?
There's certainly an awful lot going on in the oil market, that's true. The fall in prices that we've seen recently certainly has to do with the weakness in global economy. On the other hand, the situation in Iran at the minute is extremely tense and will remain so ahead of the 1st of July. So there are certainly pressures that are pulling in both directions. Our view for a little while now is that a reasonable price for Brent is somewhere around $110 a barrel, with China coming out with a slightly more explicitly pro-growth stance, and with the talks in Baghdad last week, I'd have to say disappointing. If anything, the pressures are probably on the upside from where we are now.
So what do you expect? OPEC is meeting in around, 2 weeks from now. Are we expecting to see more production out there, or will they leave output as it is?
OPEC has been increasing output significantly already. They're producing around 31.6 million barrels a day. This is well in excess of what they and the IEA believe the market needs. But of course, we just don't know what's going to happen beyond the 1st of July. There could be a large amount of Iranian oil taken off the table. So it is difficult to know exactly how much is needed. I would be surprised if an OPEC meeting came to any fundamental conclusions in terms of quotas or anything like that. There is enormous tension between the various OPEC nations at the minute. So I'd be very surprised if they came out with anything interesting at that meeting.
Nick, talk to me about China. You were mentioning China there, and the fact that, just yesterday we were hearing that maybe the government would be ready to put extra stimulus to encourage growth, but that then got actually renounced. They said that that wasn't true. So are you sure that we're going to not see a hard landing? Is everything going to be managed correctly? Are you concerned about what you're hearing from China?
The Chinese are very good at managing their economy. I think they have to recognize that fact. I think the stories overnight are probably just trying to dampen down expectations a little bit. People were getting very excited very quickly. I was seeing headlines yesterday talking about the prospects for interest rate cuts. I certainly wouldn't expect that. I wouldn't expect the authorities to do anything to stimulate the housing market. But the stories we've heard in the last week or so, and what we are seeing, suggests that there is a significant move that's taken place from fine-tuning towards a more explicitly pro-growth policy. And we would expect to see fairly substantial amounts of public sector investment in infrastructure going on over the coming months. And there are also various different policies being put in place to stimulate consumer spending on certain durables like cars, household goods.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. Nick Brown, thank you for your time, Head of Commodities Research at Natixis.